Hey everyone, welcome to Burn Pilates. My name is Lydia and today I'm going to be leading you through a reformat training here with a foam roller on the mat. Reformat is a class that I designed taking principles and elements from the reformer machine but applying them to the mat. Believe it or not, the reformer was designed by Joseph Pilates to help get people stronger to do their mat practice. So regardless of whether or not you have a foam roller from home, you are going to get benefits from doing this class. The foam roller provides a certain amount of feedback, no different than a machine, so that you can have movement possibility because it rolls. That being said, you can also use a playground ball, a Pilates ball, maybe even gliders, anything that gives you a little bit of movement range. It could even be your socks on a carpet, or it could be using gliders on a floor. Guys, use what you have. The most important thing is that you're going to do this class listening to your body, finding your breath, and finding your mindfulness to movement connectivity. Set your mat up, grab your foam roller, grab whatever else you need, including some water, and let's get right into our reformat training here today. Starting on your back, make your way all the way down onto your machine. Feet are going to start on your foam roller. We're going to do a little bit of footwork right here. Connect into your floor. Feel your shoulders plug down into the ground. Broaden your chest. Fuse your back into feeling connected to your mat. Legs separated hip-width distance. Just making sure that you aren't compressing your back, that you're not shortening your lumbar. If ever you need to have your hands or arms in a different position to help support you, it could even be maybe underneath the tailbone, find what works best for you, because you're working your form and you're working your posture. And a lot of times the first thing I see when I'm teaching in person is that people's shoulders start to pick tension up off the ground and they start to hunch forward. I want you to retract your shoulders down. Again, notice what's happened with your ribs when you do that, and if they're flaring as mine do, usually when I have my shoulders connect, you want to knit those ribs together and connect through your abs. Take a full breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Again, inhale through your nose. Feel where your lungs are expanding into your mat. Feel where your breath is opening your lungs into your right and left side of your rib cage. And exhale, contract through your obliques and transverse. We're going to start from here with a Pilates walkout. On your next breath in, feel the presence of your feet into your foam roller floor, whatever surface you're on today. And on your exhale, walking out, walking up, stacking kneecap over top of your hip bone, 90 degrees. Move slow and intentionally, and feeling that your abdominals are doing the work in cranking your leg up and controlling the weight of it down. Again, notice what happens with your shoulders, with your collarbones. Exhale as you lift, inhale as you lower. You want to make sure that if you're using that foam roller today with me, that you're not rolling your leg out as you take this walk out. You're finding stability. So there's equal amount of pressure through the foot that's grounding you down. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. One more time each leg. Exhale. Stacking your foot all the way down into your floor, into your foam roller, into your foot bar. Take a full breath in, and on your exhale, curl, tailbone under. Feel that scoop come from your abdominal wall. And then lift up into your bridge. Hamstrings working right away, stabilizing your shoulders, and again, down into the floor. Deep breath in. And exhale, curl down one vertebrae at a time. Don't let your shoulders hunch up. Try to control the weight of your pelvis using your abs. Inhale through neutral, exhale through imprint. The more you work to stabilize with your arches on that foam roller, the more you're going to feel your hamstrings working, which is the point. So control the movement, don't go fast. That's the first mistake people usually do in mat work, is that they start to go fast and quickly, and then they say, I didn't feel anything. Well, if you're using momentum, chances are you're rushing and you're not going to feel anything. You're just going to be moving through the exercises. The exercises are getting to the details, getting to every little nuance. Let's go for one more here. Deep breath in. Exhale. Belly button to spine. Picking your hips up, aligning them with your ribs, hips, ribs, nipples, shoulders, one line. Slowly roll down. Find your floor, feel your neutral pelvis. Stay totally connected through your abdominals. I just want to show you this really quickly. I'm going to bring my arms to the side. If you relax your tailbone out and you exaggerate your neutral, your ribs are going to flare and your body's going to be in a very sort of convex position. What you want to do is align your hips up with your lower ribs. You're maintaining neutral, so there should be a light little lumbar space, especially if you have a natural curvature in your spine that you know of already. But what you're doing is you're connecting your ribs in, knitting them together, feeling the space between your two hip bones stay connected like a seat belt. Obliques are the reason why your hips and ribs have connectivity. Don't shorten your lumbar or tuck your butt. That's not an imprint spine when you tuck your butt. We're working through the abs. You should feel your abs. And if you don't, then guess what? You're gonna practice feeling those abs every time you do class, whether it's with me or with someone else. From here, setting up for our first round of movement. On your inhale, keeping your positioning, hip width distance through those hip bones. On your next exhale, you stretch your legs forward, reaching your foam roller long, activating your thighs so that your bones don't just relax into the stretch. Breathe in to stay. Shoulders plugging down, again, ribs connected. Exhale. Pull back. Where you take your foam roller to in your bend is where you stack your knees over top of your hip bones, try to find that 90 degrees right into the hips. Your feet might be having to adjust as they move the foam roller in and out, and that's going to be you just playing with where your movement is going to. Sometimes I have to walk my toes on a little bit more. Pressing down, making sure you're grounding always and adding and applying that pressure into the floor. Exhale to stretch. Inhale to stay. Exhale to move. There should be feeling like core work through and through, even though we're stretching the legs out and you're activating through your quads and hamstrings. No muscle should be loosey-goosey here. It's all abdominal work. The abs are the reason why your legs are pulling in and stretching out. You're controlling. I always use this example, but like a hydraulic system. Let's go for a last one here. And exhale, coming all the way back. You're gonna set up one leg at a time to tabletop. Don't worry if your foam roller rolls away. You're gonna bring your heels together, toes apart, flex your feet. First position, Pilates V. Take an inhale. On your exhale, stretch your thighs. You can go into a diagonal for harder. You can stretch it to the ceiling for a little bit more supportive, but start to ignite through your stomach wall more and more as you go into the stretch, feeling where your abs are working to elongate your thighs. Turning on your glute muscles as you stretch, squeeze your butt muscles in so that your inner thighs connect, and inhale to open. Quick little training tip, the more you push your heels and bones into the midline, the more you connect your bones into that center, the more you're gonna work. So you can choose how hard you wanna make this by simply pushing your body into the center, heels together, push as hard as you can, shoulders down. Notice if your ribs are flaring and just simply adjust. Your legs don't have to go low to make this work. If they're stretching up the ceiling, you might get more connectivity in finding that training through your ribs. If you're really advanced and you've got full control of your abs, you might go lower, but it's gonna be very individual. I can't go very low because my ribs flare out. I have a very broad rib cage. I have a very arched lumbar spine naturally. So that's me, knowing me, which is why you won't see me go lower than where I'm going. But you might be at the place, or your back or your stomach wall might be stronger where you can take your legs lower. So never use the look of an exercise from your teacher to be how you should get your movement into your body. You want to feel it out for yourself from the cues and work the form. We're going to go for a last set of 2. Exhale, stretch. Warming up through the hip flexors. Feeling that stomach wall really tighten here as you stretch on out, lengthen long. You're going to bring your legs to parallel as you lift on up. Separate. Your heels are now set up right into that hip alignment, hip width distance from your hip bones. Inhale. On your exhale, externally rotate, squeeze your heels together. Connect into that Pilates first position, V. Deep breath in, parallel, hip bone width distance through the legs and thighs. Exhale, squeeze your heels together. Like you have 2 rotating discs with your feet on them. You are simply rotating your legs through the hips, feeling where your ball and socket joint are working. Exhale for 3. Deep breath in and exhale for 2. Grounding, collarbones wide. Neck stretching out. Apply feedback into the floor. And as you take your legs through parallel on this last one, you're going to bend your knees. You're going to stack right away your feet into tabletop. Slide your fingers on top of the floor. Take an inhale, nod your chin on your exhale. Bring your hands up off the ground. Take your hands from behind the nape of your neck. Supporting thoracic curl is an option. You can always modify and come back down. On your next breath in, we take a toe tap, maintaining neutral pelvis as much as you can. Lower down towards your floor. If you touch your floor, that's your max. If you touch your foam roller, that's also a great place to go to. Notice what's happening here. The kneecap is elongating from the hip, but you're keeping the same bend in your knee at 90 degrees. All that's happening is your femur is extending forward. You're lengthening out. Stomach wall is staying tight. Breathe in. Try not to look directly at your belly, but look onto a longer diagonal. I like to look up more towards my toes so I can see that my feet are coming up just that tiny micromillimeter higher than my knees. I see a lot of people drop the feet because, I get it, the legs get heavy. Don't drop the feet. Exhale, lift. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. One more time, each leg. Last one from here. Inhale to lower and exhale to lift. You're going to bring your right foot all the way onto your foam roller. And from here, taking your left leg out, inhale to stretch, exhale to bend, come back. Taking your left leg out, you can go as low as feels good for you, but make sure you're not keeping a bend in the knee when you stretch it out. You want to stretch and elongate completely out. Too many times, and I don't know why this is, but it's as if the general population, it's as if we're all afraid to stretch our limbs because we've been told not to lock out. This is your body. There's no added weight. This is your body. You wake up every day with these bones and muscles. So you want to train this calisthenics, essentially, where you're controlling your own body weight and where you're training your muscles to work in 2 directions. The thing you do not want to do, and I'm really going to show this on camera so that you can get the visual and know exactly, is you don't want to be going out and in fast. You don't want to be pulling your knee in where your back is changing. I know I'm exaggerating grossly. And you also don't want to be dropping your leg down where it's a flop or where you're pulling in fast. Count yourself. Start with your kneecap in alignment. Go out, 2, 3, 4. Pull in, 2, 3. Think of your stability leg. The reason why we have one leg stable is so we can apply pressure with it down to ground, not only the body through its support, but to also feel the feedback. Feedback is everything. That's why the reformer exists. A lot of times people don't know how to apply feedback into their bodies unless they've been trained dancers or gymnasts. So this is what we work on in Pilates. Find that feedback, come all the way back home. Take your foot to the foam roller, take an inhale, lower down. Open up your elbows, expand through your chest, feel your collarbones widen, close those ribs, exhale. We nod on up, right leg comes to tabletop, and exhale. Stretch forward and bend back. Keeping your hips stable. You can always place a hand on your stomach wall or your obliques. This is something that is such a great training tool, but if your mind is having difficulty in feeling the muscles that are working, touch the part of your body that you want to turn on, because it brings the attention of the brain to where your hand is placed. And it's a great way to help activate. Exhale. 90 degrees. Feel the difference on this side here. Making sure your hips are level. Don't let that right hip start to move forward just because the leg is stretching. There's oppositions. The right leg goes forward, your right hip pulls back so it can stay aligned in parallel to that left. I always tell my clients and students when I'm teaching in person that a lot of times we're going to do movements that don't look impressive, and they're not movements that are going to necessarily boost your ego up going, wow, look at what I can do. It's all about finding control and precision and making something look effortless. And there's a lot of effort involved in making anything in life look effortless. That's why we call it a practice. We practice in Pilates to work for that perfection in our body and our form. Go for a last one, stretch on out, feel your core work. And exhale, come all the way back. Taking your foot down onto the foam roller. This time as you lower down, stretch your arms all the way out to the mat. Take your upper body down, second round, legs stretching out. We're gonna inhale and exhale. Deep breath in. Shoulders plugging down, exhale. Knees stopping right over top of your hip bones. Place your hands on your hip bones if you're unsure. And if you feel that your pinky finger is getting squished with your thigh, then you know you bent too deeply. You should always again feel like if you got those pinky fingers painted with fresh nail polish, that you were trying to keep those pinkies as smooth as possible. And you don't want to bend where all of a sudden you squish that fresh nail polish. Inhale, pressing down, and exhale. Let's go for just a last couple reps here. Deep breath in and exhale. Go for your last one. Inhale to stretch and exhale to bend. Roll your foam roller all the way in so that you can take your feet down to the ground. And from here, hands finding the foam roller, take a full breath in. On your exhale, nod your chin. Reach your fingertips to the point that you have a light little bit of activation and pushing your arms down so you can feel that there's tension coming from the feedback of your arms pressing down. Shoulders and collarbones wide. Eyes looking towards, again, that top diagonal. From here, take an inhale. Exhale, each leg comes to tabletop, one at a time. Squeeze your knees together. From here, you're going to inhale, reach forward just a little bit higher, and exhale, small pulse. Rolling your foam roller forward, keeping this movement from the core. Try to keep your neck soft. Don't let it strain. If you need one hand behind your head to support you, bring a hand there. Deep breath in. Go for a last set of 4. Exhale for 3. Last set of 2. Collarbones wide. Last one. Take your feet down to the floor and right away roll yourself on up. Slip your foam roller out and make your way onto all fours. We're going to be setting up right away with the foam roller, which is our carriage, underneath our shins. So have your foam roller set up where you have your shins to ankles, parallel position. We're going to go to our hip bone width and distance. You're going to take your hands down to the floor. And what you want to make sure of is that you have your foam roller support on your shins where your kneecaps can be underneath your hip bones. Your arms are open, about collarbone width, little bend into the elbows, support through your lats and feel your muscles through your back, through your armpits, turn on right away. This turn on of your lats and armpits comes from how you grip into the floor and how you wrap your muscles in towards your bones. It takes training. It probably took me a full year to really train my lats, but the practice happens here. You want to alleviate the wrists. See what happens when I stretch and I lock out. My elbows and my arms turn in. You want to have that rotation just slightly out through the elbows in a tiny bend where, again, your armpits can connect. If you're unsure or unclear, give your hands a slight internal rotation. That will right away give you a soft little bend through your elbows to help support you. Now from here, you're flexing your toes so that you can stabilize in this all 4 position. We're going to take the right leg all the way out, reach your right leg long, take an inhale as you come back and switch to the left, walking out and exhale. Keeping your carriage still, keeping that foam roller still. There's a light little bit of weight that you're applying down into the foam roller, but the foam roller is essentially a tool right here where it's supporting your form so that If somebody were to slip that foam roller away, you'd be working in the same tabletop position. Inhale, exhale, push your foot away, stretch and squeeze your glute, elongate your right hip. You're stretching out your hip as you stretch your leg back. You're turning on your muscles to your right and left side equally, not only support, but also in that stretch. So you should never feel, again, like your leg has any bend in it when you finish your stretch. Stretch it out, grow it longer, squeeze your glute, and feel your kneecap perfectly elongated and contracted up. Exhale for 2. Move slow and controlled. Last one here. Exhale, stretch. Inhale, come all the way back home. Walk your hands towards your knees, and from here, slip your foam roller all the way forward. You're gonna take your elbows, and from here, what you're gonna do is you're gonna bring your forearms onto your foam roller. You wanna have your forearms set up where you have a majority of weight right over top of your forearms, no different than if you were in a forearm plank position. From here, you're going to either keep your toes flexed or keep them flat, personal preference for your shins and ankles. Take an inhale and exhale, same thing. We work through that stretch, walking out our legs, controlling back home. Exhale, navel to spine, upper back engaged. Don't round your shoulders, keep those collarbones wide. The slower you go, the more you can start to infuse the movement with every muscle, not just the major ones, all the muscles in your legs, in your arms, in your back, in your abs and core. The harder you push your forearms down into your ground or your foam roller, the more you're gonna feel the feedback needed to keep your abs engaged. Ribs are expanding to left and right, and the back of your body as you breathe. Make sure you're not swaying from side to side. If you look down, you should see that your knee is staying completely still as you reach one leg out. Deep breath in. Exhale, let's go for one more each leg after this one. This is 3. Last 2. Collarbones wide, don't let your shoulders round. Last one from here, inhale and exhale, stretch, 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 reach. Take your knee all the way back down to the floor and ground. From here, stretch on back, and if it feels nice, go into a child's pose or a shell stretch. I like to open my arms a bit wider, especially since my foam roller is so big. Get a little more of a stretch across the chest and back. And when you're ready, unraveling one vertebrae at a time, roll the foam roller in towards your knees, swing your legs around, take your feet onto your foam roller, setting up for a little bit of action now, where if you needed to have support for your lumbar, you could always use a Pilates ball behind your lower sacrum. You could roll your mat up a couple times. You could even use up a rolled up towel. You could even use a roll up towel. We're not gonna use up the towel. You're gonna start with your feet separated, hip bone width and distance. Take your hands from behind your hamstrings. Inhale. Exhale, find your C curve through your lumbar, but J curve through your whole upper body. That means the upper torso is wide from left and right, but the lower back has a C curvature. From here, your feet are on your foam roller so that you can feel right away the level of instability that you're working with. Extend your arms all the way out. Take a full breath into your nose. And on your exhale, open up, right arm towards the side. Try to get your right arm and left arm into one long line. Breathe in to stay, and exhale to close. Alternating left arm, take an inhale, and exhale, open, 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 stretch. Breathe in to stay. Don't speed this up. Exhale, close, close, close. One more time each side. Breathe in, collarbones wide, and exhale. Try to keep the feedback of your feet in the foam roller. Press them down. It's not easy because your weight is back, but find that connection. Last time to the left. Exhale, open, open, open. Inhale to stay, and exhale, come all the way back forward. From here, you're gonna sit your arms up, stretch your thighs out, take a full breath in, and exhale, scoop. Right back into that lower C spine, upper body, staying really broad through the chest. Inhale to lift, straighten the thighs, and exhale. Go to where you feel you can in this movement. Inhale, belly button to spine, collarbones wide, shoulders dropping away from ears, keeping that neck soft. Go for a last one. And exhale. From here, you're gonna walk your feet to the floor, roll your foam roller in, scoop deeper if you can into your C-spine. Hands are gonna be on the foam roller. Take an inhale, collarbones wide, and exhale. You move your body up and away from its axis. Inhale to lift, elongate your spine, elongate your neutral. Exhale, feel your hips draw forward, abs pull in deeper. Go for that last one here. Breathe in to lift, lengthen your lower lumbar. Exhale, scoop all the way in. From here, take a full breath in, slide your foam roller all the way out, and take a stretch, feet opening, mat width apart. Take a full lengthen of your torso down, just collapsing. I say collapse because I don't want you to grab your feet or ankles and try to pull yourself into the stretch. Rather, I want you to feel the heaviness of your bones as you release them. Backs of the hamstrings, notice how tight they are. Try to flex your feet, push your heels down, and don't let your back overly extend to the point that your hip bones have started to lift off the floor. You want to ground yourself. Take a full breath in. And exhale, smoothly start to unravel one vertebrae at a time. Come all the way up. Using your foam roller for your plank today, if this is too difficult, you can always lose it. It definitely is a challenge because it's a moving piece. The first thing you want to do is have your toes stacked onto your foam roller so that you have full support. Open your arms up into their positioning collarbone width and space wide. And from here, you're gonna flex your toes, lift your knees, and hold your tabletop plank. Take a full breath in, stay, and on your exhale, release your knees down. Take an inhale 3 more times. Exhale to lift. Find that stability, hold for an inhale. Stomach working. Exhale, control through your lats and back. Keep those armpits engaged. For 2. And exhale. This is almost like using no springs on the machine. You're lifting yourself up, maintaining that distance that the carriage has away from its stopper. And inhale to lower. Hold the position. From here, stretch your legs all the way. Actually, only stretch one leg out. Right foot finds that foam roller. Keeping your arms wide. And of course, if you need to adjust, you can always bring your elbows down onto the ground and go into a forearm plank. You're going to first activate left toes flex into the ground. Right toes flex them into that foam roller or whichever leg is out. Find stability to lift your hips up first and then work your body into the plank. Total stability here. You're pressing your toes down. You're keeping that arm engagement. Stretch your neck. Keep your neck soft. Even look from left to right. Upper back's engaged. Backs of the legs are engaged and the toes. The more you push them down, the more you're going to be able to lift your stomach wall up. You're not arching. You're not tucking. You're holding support, squeezing into the glutes. Staying here for 4. I'm shaking. I hope you're feeling this. For 3. For 2. Last one. Lower down one knee at a time. Don't worry about where your foam roller goes. Take a stretch. Try to release as much as you can. Calm that parasympathetic nerve. Bring it down. Bring your body's cortisol down. Let that stress go. I love Pilates for how it works the body without adding inflammation, but part of that comes from the practice of releasing between repetitions. Unravel one vertebrae at a time, come all the way up. From here, you're going to use your foam roller to take a seat. This is going to prop you up so you have a little bit more ability to stretch through your hamstrings. That being said, if you feel that it's just a little awkward, it's hard for your sit bones to remain stable, loose the foam roller, and again, make your adjustments as you need. You're going to keep your feet flexed. You're going to take your arms, and from here, what you're going to do is roll your shoulders down and back. Use your foam roller to help guide your sit bones to staying completely stable. Same movement. If you're from the floor, you're gonna be working in the exact same fashion. The leg that is staying completely planted. So for this particular exercise, we're gonna keep the right leg planted on the floor as we work the left leg. You wanna flex your right heel and push it down as much as you can on the floor, and then adjust with the tension of your arms so you can also equally feel that you're pushing down to stretch your spine. Take a full breath in through your nose. On your exhale, press that right leg down. Use your arms to help keep your spine long. Don't hunch your back. And lift, hover that left leg up off the floor. Inhale to release. That's it, that's all. Exhale, press down. You are not going to get height on this exercise. Your aim is to get hover and hold. Exhale. Inhale. Stretch your leg out. Push energy into your heel. As you push the leg away, your hip pulls back. The abs work to keep your ribs aligned up over top of your hip bones. We're using the foam roller as a tool so that you don't start to hunch and roll your sacrum under. I can't even do it because I'm gonna lose balance, but that would be the visual that you're trying to just really acknowledge into your body that you wanna stay away from at all costs. Keep stretching out. Lift your right leg off, switching to that right side. Deep breath into lower. These are small movements. And as you do these kinds of classes, you're gonna start to find that refinement in your quality of movement and in your technique. And maybe you will eventually, start to add a little bit more dynamic rhythm into your movements. But from here, we're just experimenting together. I'm giving you the guidance of the movement so you can find it for yourself. Exhale to lift. The next time you take your left leg up off the floor, because now we're going to alternate, you're going to take your arms up and off that foam roller as an additional challenge. Deep breath into lower. Exhale to lift, alternating legs, making sure, again, you're pushing down to the ground like a button. You're pushing that floor down so you can help the leg that's lifting lift. Opposition, you push down to lift. Abs staying completely active. Last set of 4, collarbones wide, shoulders away from ears. Exhale for 3. Last set of 2. Go for your last one. And exhale, belly button to spine. Take your foot all the way down to floor. Bring your hands to the mat behind you. Walk your feet in so you have a hip bone width and distance. From here, feet in parallel, shoulders down and back. You're gonna keep your arms stretched. You're gonna lift your butt from your foam roller, lift, and inhale, lower. Either touch your foam roller, or if you're like me and it rolls forward or back, you're just lowering down to hover. Neutral pelvis on the lower. Squeeze your glutes. Use your hamstrings, use your abs on that lift. Try to get your hip bones parallel again to your lower ribs. You're also trying to get your hips parallel and lifted to the same level as your knees. So we're stretching out through the fronts of the hips because of how we're activating the posterior chain. Exhale, shoulders away from ears. This is a great stretch and also a great toning exercise for the back of the arms. But you have to activate them, you have to press your hands down, you have to use your body to get the most out of your body. Last set of 3. Deep breath in. Exhale for 2. Last one from here. Inhale to lower and exhale to lift. Smoothly lower your hips down safely. Make sure that nothing's in your way. Take your glider out from your thighs, and from here, take your feet back out. Hip width distance or mat width distance. Reach your arms all the way up. We're gonna do a twist. Take a full breath in. Right arm stretches forward, left arm stretches back. As you exhale, twist. Try to get your arms again completely parallel. One long line from your collarbones. Without skiing your legs or hips back and forth, keep your lower body stable. And exhale. Open. Inhale, arms next to temples. Try to bring the shoulders up to the ears so you feel that full shoulder elevation. Up, up, reach, stretch through your obliques, and exhale, sit yourself up taller as you take the twist. Feel the difference on each side. One more to the left. Exhale. One more to the right. take your arms all the way up. And from here, bring your legs together. Squeeze your ankles in tight. You can point your feet. You're gonna take your arms forward. You're gonna scoop right away into your lower C-spine. Now, if you wanna add challenge, grab your foam roller, take it between your hands. Have this as natural weight, but also a tool to keep your arms stabilizing together, working in unison together. Collarbones wide. Take an inhale, touch your quads. Exhale, lift. Go no higher than where you can keep your ribs closed while keeping your collarbones wide. This will be the same movement using just your arms without the foam roller or any piece of equipment. If you don't have it, you know what to do. You're lifting and lowering. And sometimes I feel like I have to show you the example because I know it's very easy to think like, but the teacher has the equipment. That must mean it's harder. No, not necessarily. A tool is a tool, but if you're not using the tool properly, it's not a tool, it's just a hindrance. So some days I'll do classes where they say use weights, use tension, and I won't because I'm feeling too sore, I'm feeling too distracted. The whole point of Burn Pilates, the whole point of finding this kind of training and methodology for your body to work properly is so that you can become so one with yourself that the choices you make are very much curated to your day, your mood, your energy levels, your hormones, whatever's going on in your life, injuries, etc. And this is the kind of training that I hope will give your body what it needs so that you can also make those choices when you're doing sports, activities, just doing everyday life. Exhale, lift, no higher than, again, where you can keep your ribs closed. Last one. Exhale. You're gonna take your foam roller right onto your quads. If you don't have one, have your arms at shoulder alignment. Reach your hands onto your foam roller. Inhale, go just a bit deeper if you can. And exhale, roll by pushing your hands down into your foam roller. You can also do this again, I'm just gonna show you, without the foam roller pushing into your quads. Modification could be bent knees so that you're using your floor just in a little incline to help support you. You're not sitting all the way up. You're activating your core by elongating the ribs away from the hips and then drawing that C curvature deeper, navel into spine. Collarbones wide though. Last 4, push down into that foam roller. For 3, we're using the foam roller just like feedback from the machine. Last 2, go for a last 1. And exhale, sit on up. Foam roller to the side, swing your legs all the way back. From here, find right away in all fours position, stretching your right leg all the way out behind you. Take an inhale and exhale, left leg grows long. You can have your legs together or hip bone width and distance. We're gonna set up right away into a downward dog, into a plank. Breathe in and exhale, lower down in neutral. Lift your sit bones up, press into the floor. Collarbones wide, shoulders away from ears. Lift your heels up first and come down in neutral. Spine is long. You're working for your natural lumbar curvature. We're not unraveling into plank one vertebrae at a time, so you shouldn't feel like you're rounding where your head is stretched out last. Your eyes are right over top of your hands with your shoulders at the same time as your hips come down. So you're trying to find a stretch forward, chest through the arms, and lift on up. Last time from here in the neutral, exhale. Now the next time you press on up, I want you to drop your head first, and this is where we're gonna round the back. Upper back goes first. You pull your belly button in, you lift. You're going to press your heels down, take a full breath in on your exhale. Heels left first. Your hips, you scoop deeply into an imprint spine and space. You lower down, and as you unravel, your head, neck, chest, stretch out last through the arms. Deep breath in to stay. Exhale. Oops. See, I did it wrong, guys. That was a great opportunity to show you as a teacher. Head drops first. Belly button second. Hips third. Oof. Push your heels down. Keep your tailbone as much as you can in that scoop coming from your abs. Lift your hips up. Feel that stretch and then exhale. One vertebrae down at a time. Stretch out. Pull your chest to the arms. We're gonna go for 2 more. Exhale. Chin, head, upper back, belly button. Ooh. Hamstrings. Stretch heels to floor. Lift, exhale. Scoop in through imprint spine. Elongate into neutral. Feel your spine stretch. Inhale. Last time. Chin to sternum. And you'll feel the slower you go, whew, the more you'll work. Lift up. Belly button in, suction cup your abs towards your back. And then as you stretch out, elongate your lower spine. Neutral pelvis, we hold here for 5. Squeeze the legs in for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees to floor. Press all the way out and back. Child's pose, shell stretch. Or if you wish, incorporate that foam roller so you can have your arms elevated just a little higher up than the floor. Getting into that stretch. Inhale to stay. And exhale, release. Hold for one more breath. On your exhale, start to unravel. Hips staying over heels. Use your foam roller or use your floor to walk yourself up. And from here, just line for your legs to close. Lift your hips, long knees, take your arms up, deep breath in, squeeze your glutes together, and exhale. Upper back lift without collapsing through the lumbar. Arms come down, draw your eyes forward, take your hands, interlace your fingers behind your back, stretch on up and open up to your chest. You can also pull your arms down and keep your eyes gazing at the ceiling. Just make sure you're not collapsing in your lower back or starting to push your stomach wall forward. It's your ribs that are lifting up, allowing you to open up from the point where you're still in a neutral pelvis. So just notice that for yourself in the stretch here. Sit your hips back down, take your hands forward, and from here, take a full breath in. Exhale, round your back, separate those shoulder blades. Take a full breath in, lift on up. And as I like to always finish, exhale, open up, bring that energy all the way into your body that you just cultivated. Take one more breath, center your focus. Your hands can come to prayer if you want. Breathe in what you want to take out right here, right now. And exhale anything that you wish to leave and let go. Guys, thank you so much for joining me for this reformat class. All of the reformat classes are slightly different. The whole goal is to get you utilizing different props on the mat to get in very similar training to what you would have on the reformer. The reformer is simply a resistance tool that provides feedback, which is why I like to use different tools and show you how you can use different tools from home on your mat to get the same kind of feedback, the same kind of resistance, the same kind of quality from your movements. If you enjoyed this class, give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions, leave them for me in the comment section below. I love to get to know you as your trainer. Of course, if this was your first class with me, I invite you to subscribe. I release classes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Classes that you can curate and personalize for your own practice. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you at the next class. Have an awesome morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. And guys, I'll see you at the next burn.